Hello everybody, welcome to Different Media. My name is Forrest Stevens and today I'm going to be reviewing this e-bike. This is the Cyrusher Kommoda and it's an awesome kind of compact e-bike with a really good range, and I'm going to be going through all the different aspects of this bike and talking about why I think it might be one of the best suited e-bikes for van life. You can tell that Cyrusher really puts a lot of effort into building out their bikes. They use high quality products and they think about the design of the bike before it all comes together. This is one of the top of the line e-bikes out there. It has a Shimano 7-speed gear system and it has a 5 different level motor that is a 750 watt motor and a battery pack that will take you about 50 miles, and it's a 48 volt 12 amp hour battery. What's nice about the battery is it actually goes into the frame of this bike so that it doesn't, you don't see it on the outside like most e-bikes, and it just makes it look nice and compact, and really it's just another way that they thought of building out the bike properly to make it all come together really, really well. The bike has smaller wheels than a lot of traditional bikes or other e-bikes. And I mean smaller in the diameter, but it is still a fat tire bike. Now, the reason that so many e-bikes are fat tire bikes is because they're more comfortable to ride, they're a smoother ride, and they're actually much better for kind of all-terrain applications like going in the snow or some trail riding. And I will say I've taken this e-bike into some pretty hairy trails and it has withstood them really well. It's handled them really well, especially for something that's a step through, that's a bit smaller. And I can't wait to take this on the snow once it starts snowing here. The reason I got the step through was this will be Emily's bike and she wanted something that works for her size. She's a bit shorter, and a lot of e-bikes are pretty big and they're kind of like almost too big, but this one is the nice in-between size. And I say in between because they also have a model that is a foldable bike, which is even a bit smaller and possibly even better for van life. But this one is that in between. And what I mean by that is it also folds up a little bit. So this handlebar will come down. You'll be able to actually remove this handlebar super easily. And the pedals, they'll fold in. So those little things make it easier to fit this into your van, in underneath your bed, or in our case, on our bike rack on the back that I still need to figure out how to build. There's no actual bike rack on there. There's just a metal rack, and I need to figure out how to secure this still for when we do travel with it. The reason that having an e-bike is so perfect for van life and for traveling is because then you can park outside of the city or outside of the location where there is ample parking and it is safe to park, because sometimes it's a little sketchy depending on where you are, and you can take something like this into your destination and be able to, put a couple saddlebags on the back of this thing, or even strap a basket on the front, on the back, wherever, and you could really outfit this thing to be able to go run errands or go and actually see the sights more easily than you would be with something, driving around that's this size. So I mentioned the motor a little bit. It's a 750 watt motor that provides ample amount of speed, and you can actually request the top speed from Cyrusher for your bike. So this one has a top speed of about 29 miles per hour using just the motor. I haven't quite broken that 30-mile mark, but I think that might be what it's set to. It just hasn't quite gotten there when I've taken it for some test runs. And it really works well. It has hydraulic disc brakes, which will make you stop really fast, which is what you want out of a brake. It has a really great front suspension, and it's kind of built into this frame so that it actually kind of, it's in line with the frame. It's not underneath the frame. And that's why it can be a bit shorter of a bike, is because the shocks actually come up to almost the top of the base of the handlebars here and above the bike frame itself. And the way they've thought about everything is because if you take this corner too hard, you could hit your shocks against your metal frame, but there's these little plastic rubber bumpers that bounce off of here so it doesn't ding the frame and doesn't create any wear on the outside of these shocks. There's a nice light here that illuminates your space ahead of you, and a light in the back, so you're very visible with this, with just how it is. And it has a king meter, which is colorized. It shows you the percentage of your battery, so you can really estimate how much more travel time you have on your bike. It has the power, your up and down for your motor, a little horn, which is quite funny. It's not super loud, but it's loud enough to alert somebody that you're going to be passing them on a trail or something like that. It has a light switch here. And what's really nice about this bike is it has a rear shock too. It has rear suspension, which is right below you on your seat. And this creates a very smooth ride. Whether you're doing this trails or just hitting bumps on the road or whatever, you're going to have a comfortable ride on this bike compared to something without rear suspension. The seat that this comes with is quite nice as well. You know, this is just stock things, but it's nice that they provide really high quality stock items on this build. So you don't have to go out and buy other things to kind of outfit your bike and make it more comfortable for you. The seat has two rear spring built into it, and it has a ventilation air spot here in the middle. And basically, when this bike arrived, it was very, very simple to put together. It took me probably about 15 minutes or so, and it came with all the tools that it needed to be put together. And so far, I haven't had any problems with this bike. It's just been well thought of, well designed, looks aesthetically well, or good, and it performs really, really well, which is obviously the most important thing. So I said the reason we got this was for Emily, so that we could have the ability to both have our e-bikes on the back of our rig here and be able to travel. The other reason is because we want to be able to do an extended multi-day trip. There's this Trans-Canada, it used to be the railroad, they kind of paved over it or just put gravel over it actually. And we really want to do sections of that either to the East Coast or to the West Coast, and take our e-bikes and put like a little trailer attached to this with some solar and some batteries. So this is another reason that we got this, was to be able to do long trips, not just be able to travel with it. So you can think outside of the box when you have an e-bike, because you have that assisting. And what's so nice about the assist is you can rely on it completely to take a break. You know, if you've tired yourself out by pedaling along your trip, you can kind of stand up on your pedals and just use the motor with the throttle and really just kind of give yourself a little bit of a break and then start pedaling again. Or if you're going uphill, I mean, that's why e-bikes became so popular, I think, to begin with, was that pedal assist going up any hills. It is just a lifesaver. It is really, really nice being able to have that motor help bring you up the hills, and then you can kind of keep going and get some exercise as well. There's that really nice balance where you can work as hard as you want on the e-bike and also have the assistance that you want. So there's that nice balance that you can create depending on what you want to do on your trip or on your bike adventure. Because of the weight of this e-bike and because of the smaller diameter of the wheels, it does make it actually easier to pedal, and that is really nice in case you ran out of battery, for instance. A lot of times these e-bikes, once you run out of battery, it's just it's very slow going, and the bike is heavier than a normal bike because of the battery and the motor and the design. And so it's hard to kind of get to any speed and go any distance if you're just pedaling without a motor. But because of the smaller diameters, because of the good gear system and the just the way the bike is designed, you're able to get to a fairly decent little speed without the motor, and it doesn't feel like a ton of effort compared to a bigger, heavier bike. So that's one really nice feature that I enjoyed out of this bike. So thank you, Cyrusher, for sending us this bike. I hope this review has been helpful for you. We plan on doing more e-bike reviews in the future, and we want to kind of showcase that these might be good options for you for van life. So thanks everybody for watching. There is a link in the description if you're interested in checking out more about this bike specifically, or about the other bikes that Cyrusher has. Thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you on the next video.